So now let's move to Jason, and yeah, you can just if you have slides, feel free to share your slides. If not, yeah, you can just start your presentation. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Yes, cool. Let me share my screen. Let's put some similar, very simple work together. The topic I want to talk here, I'm the founder and CEO from DeFiner, and DeFiner is specialized in DeFi, and we get the name even before the concept of this DeFi. So probably today I want to share, we talk about CBDC, why it's so important, and because there's an industry called DeFi, and we figure out a way of providing financial services in a much cost-effective and with a much better quality and service. And but I do believe without CBDC, we cannot really bring this wonderful technology to the mainstream. So that's why the topic of today for me is, how can the CBDC and used in the DeFi network. I think a lot of time people may think the centralized regulatory regulation CBDC may not work together with DeFi, but I have different opinions because in order to really bring the DeFi solution to the mainstream, we need regulation, because regulation is always the thing, like in the human history. We need that to better to organize and people together, and that's why I think in DeFi we also need regulation, but we probably need a kind of different form of regulation. Maybe it's still not. I think that's the true things. Like for the topic of today is about the CBDC, how CBDC can fit and to the ecosystem of the DeFi. And even today, we don't have very mainstream CBDC, and but there's some other ways, we call it stable coins, and issued by many different private sectors. Maybe that's not the best way, but it's a way of moving this industry and serve people. But I still believe it's not the best way. So going to DeFi, I think we have been through the several years, like start from 2018. I started the concept of DeFi, this industry, and it's just a bunch of projects over US and have this concept. But in my belief, like Bitcoin itself is the biggest and the oldest DeFi project, and but Bitcoin focused on the payment level. And but things 2018, the start of concept, and in like year 2019, the DeFi products start to go like a beta mode, like with only a small group of people. So at that time, the total under managed asset probably around less than a billion, and just play around and improve the product, and not in the mainstream, even in the blockchain and the crypto field. But this year, things has changed dramatically. The main thing is, after 2 years of product development, and the product itself become more and more mature, and find a good market fit in the bring actually the blockchain technology to solve the real financial world issues, right? Like the provided financial services. So we saw the introduction of like liquidity mining and token economies that boost the user base a lot. That's why it grows crazily this year. But I think they still just a start, as you guys all aware, like regulators come in and want to figure out how to make it fully regulated and can be accepted by the the consumers level. But I think it's still just a start, because the DeFi is actually the new industry of finance, right? So the overall volume of the financial system is huge. So DeFi is less than you cannot be counted. It's even its growth 10 times is still less than 1%. So I still believe like next year will actually DeFi will really bring more attention from the outside of blockchain folks. So this is kind of show you it's still the old chart. Probably I get this like a month ago. Right now I think it's already around here. So over like $11 billion under managed. So as I can you guys can show here see here. It's still start from here, but there's no concept. And but later like 2018 we get this DeFi concept. And then it's really like the Bitcoin. If you can see the asset under managed, so it's like grows like 10 times every year. So based on the growth, it's all even early this year we have a little bit financial troubles like March because of this pandemics. But for the DeFi, it really looks nothing now. So it grows very crazily, like year by year is by the pace of like 10 times growth. So yeah. And let's take a look of the DeFi ecosystem, right? So for the DeFi ecosystem, we have several, players. I think we need to understand, but I think the CBDC is actually also, in my view, is the infrastructure layer. Like that's the blood to connect all the different parties together. So that's the importance of the CBDC or the stablecoin system. So I believe this is the biggest one because that's the currency, right? So even now we don't have like even one like the big central bank driven currency system yet, not yet, but there's already a lot of other like stable coins players, right? But in this system, blockchain is the fundamental technology layer. And on top of blockchain, there's like a protocol layer, which means like the protocol layers, they can provide exactly the same service as the DeFi. We call it the mine. Like people can come and mine the Bitcoin, mine the tokens. Like the most recent example is the Uniswap, right? It's a decentralized exchange before they are a protocol layer, which they don't have the the token to distribute the either the profit or the governance rights. So now they moved from like a DeFi protocol layer to integrate with a layer like token and to do the liquidity mining. So then we have miners, right? Miners, but in DeFi they call them farmers. Like they do the yield farming, like the YARM, YF, all those in farming. But I think also another key players in this is all these like DeFi speculators. Actually, all these traders, and they provide a lot support for the profit, for those DeFi farmers. But I think for those two layers is more, focusing on technology, right? And the base layer is most focused on the technology itself, right? That's the 3 years ago, like the last time, like the boost of this whole like the crypto world is like is majorly about the blockchain, which is the very fundamental layer. Then we move to like the protocol layer, which is on top of the blockchain. They do more close to the application, right? Then after the several year development, we finally get a lot of application like lending and exchange, insurance, all those exchange service has been done on the DeFi. But then within this is more focused on the technology. Then we have the application there. Then it's like DeFi farmers. They more focusing on the strategy, capital allocation, portfolio, and so their focus is more like how to allocate the capital, and also how to manage that with the smart contract. So you see, right now the system is almost complete, right? And but we're still waiting for CBDC come in. I think we're still waiting for the our clear structure, because we talk about CBDC for already many years, but I still didn't see. Maybe I can learn like what's the most recent update. How can we make the CBDC, kind of centralized, the currency in the DeFi system. But I think, the centralized system can work very well in the DeFi system. As you all know, like the most popular, like USDT is kind of centralized system. So it's centralized organization issue the currency is not a problem at all. I think the most important for the DeFi is this system is automatically run and save a lot of cost, right? So, and even if the blood, is all the currency we use is kind of issued by the centralized organization. So I don't think that would be an issue. But the issue probably is once we have this, how can we regulate it very well, make sure it's fully compliant with all these KYC, AML, and all these things. So I think that's my general take about the DeFi, which I'm working on in this industry since very early, and I saw the growth of this industry, and I will say it's unstoppable, because it's just like the internet, right? And it's a technology which can use to provide a better service at a lower cost. So no one can stop this technology to provide a better service to more, to serve more financial asset, which will be reflected on this chart going forward. And I think also it grows very quick, and it will not be stopped. So the matter is, we cannot, to either make this new technology works belong to the old financial system, but we just need to think a new way. How can we make all the requirement from regulatory side and from management side, and work in a new way to better to let this new technology or decentralized finance to grow. Because I don't see who can stop this growth, because it's just a new technology with breakthrough ways of changing people's life, and actually will save trillions of dollars. So thanks a lot, and I think that's my take about the DeFi, and which the very new growth industry. And yeah, thanks Xiaochen for having me here, and I'm the CEO of DeFiner. So you get let's keep connected together and find a very interesting topic in the DeFi and CBDC. Thanks, Xiaochen.